Hey folks, and welcome to another replay for the Operation Market Garden mod for Company of Heroes. I am Mr. Moth, and I have for you a 4 versus 4. It's supposed to be a long one, so we will go ahead and get started shortly. First up, we'll just take a look at the players and the units that they're starting with. First up, we have Snake, bringing sort of just a general purpose British support weapon start. We have, in the middle, Will, starting with a Sherman, along with some supporting support weapons. We have Stormtrout, also starting with a just general support weapon start with Piats. And we have over here Attack Taco, starting with a American infantry start with some Rangers, some Bar infantry, and a machine gun and an AT gun. Over on the Axis side, we have Unlimited, who is bringing another infantry support weapon start. I am a fan of this sort of setup. I use a similar one myself, use the officer to take out a support weapon early on, so we will see how that works out. In the middle, we've got Ozaka, starting with a terror officer, I believe. Yes, you can see his Sturmgewehr, and some nice crossholders and Panzerschrecks. We have Trapmaker with a very similar opening deployment. And lastly, we have Bevelsteiner, starting with some Stormtroopers with no upgrades. I imagine they must have some grenades or some such. Some Panzerschrecks and a machine gun, and probably some other stuff. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I imagine we're going to be seeing Olozaika bringing this motorbike up the middle and spotting this Sherman, but because the Allies start on a road and the Axis does not, the Axis on this particular game has started on the beach, they got a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of getting units to the middle, vehicles. But he has spotted the Sherman, so they know that this is here. The Axis has this one AT gun, and I believe that's the only anti-tank that they have, a fixed anti-tank, but they do have a lot of Panzerschrecks, so the Allies are going to have to be careful with that Sherman. A lot of units just sort of focusing down in the middle here, which makes sense, that's where 2 units started. A pretty heavy investment on anti-tank from the Allies. They've got the 17-pounders, they've got the Piats, and the Axis are not really starting with any armor, so that will be sort of interesting to see how that works out. These nice crossholders have the potential to really rip through all of that anti-tank. But they are now... This is a very forward mortar. I think Stormtrout probably sent a deployment to the middle and just like as a group and did not notice that his mortar was in front. So that is off the field, which is a big win for the Axis early on, for virtually no loss. Just some HP loss on the Knights crossholders, and they can regenerate that. We've got the machine gun in the church from Unlimited, which is suppressing all of this allied infantry from Attack Taco, although Attack Taco does have the mortar to sort of help counter this, and I think these bar rifles have BAR suppression because some of these Volks are suppressed, but is not going to last as long as the MG42. The mortar is doing some decent damage, but I think the initiative here, the upper hand is limited. Although, a grenade going off, nice hit on the Volksgrenadiers. But the other Volksgrenadiers are going for some hits on the mortar. Gonna have to be careful. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in the middle here. Looks like the Axis are starting to break through with a flanking maneuver here on the left. And there goes the Terror Officer barrage, I believe. Where is the Terror Officer? I don't see it, but some kind of barrage coming on here, not really hitting much. Here comes Trapmaker with a flank into the back here, getting some Panzerschrecks on the the Sherman, and the Sherman does go down, get a last vengeance shot on the Stormtroopers, but that is another big win for the Axis and destroys another support weapon here. This anti-tank, again, for the Allies, just sort of not accomplishing much of anything. We have another tank on for the Allies. It is a flamethrower Stuart. Unlimited getting very aggressive, just I think just throwing away this Volksgrenadier to see what is coming. Nice grenade. Actually, I can't tell if that killed. No, it didn't kill anything. Did virtually no damage. Also, Attack Taco has a triage center back here. It did not finish it is still being built here. There is a one-man engineer squad very slowly constructing this triage center to heal up that rifle that took virtually no damage. Axis still concentrating their push here in the middle. Trapmaker doing his left flank while Olzeka pushes up the middle with his Knights Crossholders. That Stuart is not looking in good shape in the face of these Panzerschrecks from Trapmaker, and it's worth noting these squads have double Panzerschrecks each, at least the one does. Regardless, there's a lot of Panzerschrecks, and it does not bode well for any further vehicles that the Allies would like to deploy. The Allies' attack Taco is deploying a 105mm howitzer. We'll have to see how that works out, because this is very early in the game. There's only 26 pop on, so this is going to be a big population soak. While the Axis are just heavily breaking through, I think it might be a little bit questionable. I think it might have been better served getting some kind of forces to stabilize. Double quad 50 deployment from Will, not a bad choice. This will, even though they're vehicles, this will counter these Panzerschrecks because they deal pretty good. One by itself doesn't do much, but two together deals pretty good suppression. And as long as Will is careful to keep his distance. Ooh, here comes the 105 on all this suppressed infantry, and Trapmaker is just going to pull that off, not going to risk it. So, Allies are beginning to stabilize on the left, but on the right, these MP40 Volks, I believe these are new MP40 Volks on with the double vet, just chewing through these forces here from Attack Taco, but Will's Quad 50 half-tracks coming to save the day, and off-map coming down here from whence? Ah, yes, the Terror Officer sneaking up from Olazika. But it looks like it will miss. It does have a delay before it comes down, so Stormtrout was able to move all of his troops out of the way, fortunately for him. If we look at the sort of map here, at least at the moment, the Axis I think definitely has sort of the advantage in field presence. Although saying that, Trapmaker definitely does not have many units on the field. He still has to bring up reinforcements, and reinforcements he is bringing. He has double KCH and a Panther. That is a very fearsome combination because the Knights Crossholders can advance and take out Piats. They can take out anti-tank guns, and once that is dealt with, then the Panther can come in and deal with everything else. So I'm excited to see how that works out. Very good counter to these half-tracks. Although, the Allies do still have quite a number of anti-tank guns here. They've got the 17-pounder on the right, a Sherman on from Attack Taco. This is a long-barrel Sherman, so not a terrible matchup against the Panther if he plays it right. Although, it is getting very aggressive. I think getting on over his head a little bit. He's trying to get this officer here, but the officer is going to hop in the church, and I think this Sherman's days are numbered with the pack and the Panzerschreck getting in position. And the Panther coming in to assist as well. Quad 50 half-tracks, yep, there goes the Sherman. Quad 50 half-tracks just keeping all these Knights Crossholders at bay. 4 Knights Crossholders on the field between these two players here that have them. So that is very dangerous indeed. This machine gun is in a lot of danger because some Knights Crossholders can come to the front to sort of draw its fire, and then the others can come around to the side. And with all the hit points that the Knights Crossholders have, they're not really in much danger of being killed off by this machine gun. But it looks like they're not going to go for that. Olazaka is instead moving his Knights Crossholders over to the middle to assist these unupgraded Grenadiers with these unupgraded rifles. This mortar emplacement from Snake has taken a lot of damage. He wants to be careful if another Panzerschreck push comes in, because that can kill off this mortar. Volks Grenadiers getting caught out by the machine gun, but I think Unlimited is just making a bluff here with the officer, making Stormtrout pull this back so that the KCH can move up. That's a pretty nice play there. We have a Stuart on now with a canister shot getting a decent hit on the Knights Crossholders, unfortunately not actually killing off any of the men in the squad. Again, KCH have a passive health regen, so if Trapmaker just pulls these back, leaves them in the backfield for a little bit, they will eventually heal to full. And the The Stuart is making a dive for these KCH. Again, I really going for the crush, but with the Panther here and the Panzerschreck in the church, looks like he is, yes, not going to accomplish what he desires to accomplish. The 17 pounder did get a decent shot on the Panther, bringing it down to about, 2/3 of its health, 3/4 of its health. So nice penetrating shot from that. These rifles just chewing through these Volksgrenadiers who are trying to do with this machine gun. No good. Rifles definitely stack up better at close range with their Garands than the Volksgrenadiers do with their Kar 98s. Officer in trouble, being pinned down by the machine gun. Need to be careful here. Probably going to want to retreat. Yes, he goes down. I don't think there was any way to get them out of that situation, even with the machine gun here. However, meanwhile, the KCH have come around the side and killed off that machine gun in retaliation, and we now have a Walking-Stufe half-track coming down to try to take out these retreating forces from Stormchild. Looks like a little bit late on the draw, going to miss with all of those shots. Over on the left, we have Ozeka going for another flanking maneuver. I really like how the Axis is handling this left side, because they're sort of taking advantage of the fact that the Allies are not occupying this sector of the map at all, and the Axis has sort of free reign over to get aggressive, get around the flanks of the Allied defenses. But in this case, he has run into, with just this one Panzerschreck, I believe, two Panzerschrecks, run into a Churchill AVRE, which has the potential to do a lot of damage to these squads without hard anti-tank support from an AT gun or something of that nature. So he's going to back off for now until he can find something to take care of that. This machine gun. I want to go back in time and tell Steiner to move this machine gun up. This is well far on the back. I suspect he might have forgotten about it. Because there's no bunkers back here that it needs to protect, right? If they had a repair bunker up or something of that nature, or a howitzer, I might understand it. Have the machine gun back here just to watch it in case the Allies try to sneak up some kind of sneaky unit. But the divisions that they're going against, yes, ambush. One of them is infantry, so they could sneak up, for example, a spotter, and then use the spotter to gain accurate artillery fire. But yes, no, the artillery is still on. This artillery has not been shooting very much. It only has one kill. I suspect Attack Taco might have forgotten about it, because I've only seen it shoot the one time. Then it's certainly ready again by now. The cooldown on the 105s is very long, but we are well into the game at this point, and it was brought on pretty early. It has to be ready again by now, right? There's plenty of decent targets over here. They just need to spot them. Allied forces seem to be shifting over to the left with their infantry and anti-tank. These Piat squads. I'm not entirely... yes, for the Stug, which is definitely a threat to this Churchill AVRE. The Churchill AVRE can do good damage to the Stug if it gets a direct hit, but that is a sort of a difficult thing to do. It has to manually aim, and it only gets the one shot, and it won't... It's very unlikely to kill the thing in one shot. This Stug is at full health. It has not suffered from any wear and tear. Sounds like Steiner has pointed out some triangulation, he suspects. Let's go to the Allied side and see if that is the case. Turn on Fog of War. I don't see, let's see, cycle through the players, right? I don't... Ooh, aggressive play from the rifleman trying to get the mortar. Meanwhile. Yes, I don't think they actually have triangulation up, because, for example, they can't see some of these units in the back. It seems like the only units they can see are the ones they have line of sight on, but I could be wrong. Usually there's a sort of triangle on the map that you would have triangulation with, but perhaps that doesn't come with the replay. So we will reset the camera, turn off Fog of War, and it looks like the Allies are falling back on the left here, which I'm not entirely sure why. I guess the AVRE probably got it shot up. Only 2 kills on it. But, you know, on the left here, the only real thing they have to deal with is this little bundle of infantry here. And then the Stug in the back. The 17-pounder can threaten the Stug. And all of this stuff. Is there a machine gun here? There is, but it is facing the wrong way. As they tend to do. Until they find a target, they have to shift all the way around. So these quad 50s still on, doing some work, don't have many kills, but that's not really their job. Their job isn't to get kills, their job is to suppress. These KCH are fairly resistant to suppression, but it is going to stop Olzaka from getting aggressive and killing off this recon squad. Again, Attack Taco really suffering with these mortars, just not protecting them very well and letting them easily get overrun by assault squads such as the MP40 Volks and these KCH. However, Trapmaker has now run into this M4 Sherman, so it has to pull back. The 105 from Attack Taco is now opening up on these emplacements that he knows are here, especially the 88 that has been brought on by Unlimited. He has put some sandbags down to try to protect the crew, give them some green cover. A decent hit damages the crew, but does not kill any of them. I think that's the whole barrage, so unfortunately a fairly unproductive barrage. And the 88 is now doing some good damage on this M4. He needs to pull back here. Between that and the Panther, this M4 is definitely in danger, does not have any supporting assets. No anti-tank, no riflemen to block up the KCH. Not that the KCH are really a threat to it unless they have Panzerfaust, but yes, this Sherman is surely doomed. Destroyed engine, it's done. AVRE, I suppose, got a support weapon. It's got a building killer there, and support weapons count as those. The Stug running in the backfield, we missed what it was trying to accomplish with that, but it is going down summarily from the anti-tank gun. From Stormtrout, anti-tank gun now has a kill on the board. Another walking Stuka barrage coming off, probably on the 105. Not really anything else over here for to come down on except for the triage. It is on the triage. He is using the incendiary barrage that is unique to the defensive doctrine in this mod. But unfortunately, most of these shots miss. He did get one here, and so they're doing some afterburn damage on the triage here, but not a whole lot. Nothing that I think Attack Taco needs to worry about at this particular moment. He has much greater concerns. Such as the fact that he has no units on the field right now except for the howitzer. Here comes some reinforcements. An anti-tank gun, presumably for the Panther, and some rifle squads. I hope he has more units than that on the way, because that is not going to hold back all of this, and this, and this, especially this. Crocodile, Sherman on from Will, trying to scare off these KCH. Another artillery barrage coming down from the Terror officer. They're doing a good job protecting their office. Well, I say that, this one officer died, but the Terror officer is doing a good job staying alive. I don't see where they are, but that is a Terror officer barrage. Allies starting to probe up on the left here with some largely just riflemen. There's a machine gun in the back here, but it is not advancing to help with this huge blob of Volksgrenadiers. And here is... This is also a Terror officer. Panzerschreck going for some hits on the Churchill, but it bounces. The Churchill has pretty solid armor, including on the sides. A Panther on for Feldwebel-Steiner with the Blitz officer inside. You can see with the double bars here, which gives it a number of bonuses, the specifics of which I am not sure. I believe turret rotation accuracy? I don't know. It makes it better, is the point. So the Allies are starting to gain some ground back, which is good. Because you can see now they are now gaining population. I did not pay attention to it before, but I suspect this late into the game with the population, or the territory they're on the back foot, I imagine they were probably losing population. We can compare it here. Yes, the Allies have less pop than the Axis. So at the very least they were gaining pop more slowly than the Axis is. Another artillery barrage coming down, not entirely sure on what, maybe to get some hits on the Panther? Maybe there was something here that it had already killed that I missed. Let's look at the kills. 1 kill still. Maybe they got a support weapon or some such. I don't see anything here, not even a wreck. So not sure what that was meant to accomplish. These Volt Grenadiers over here are still sitting pretty, but would be difficult for them to advance against all of this here with the aviary, and more importantly, this machine gun emplacement that's coming up here. Although, for what actual machine gun to put in, I'm not sure, because this machine gun belongs to the red player, Snake, whereas this emplacement belongs to Stormchild. You cannot put one player's machine gun into the other emplacement. So maybe he has a machine gun coming on. Yes, he does. He has a machine gun coming on to sit in this bunker, which will definitely make it more difficult for these to advance. But Olazeka does have a terror officer with an incendiary barrage, so all he really has to do is just sit and wait for that to finish on its cooldown, then advance, screen the officer with the Volksgrenadiers, and then bring an incendiary barrage on the bunker, and that will largely be that taken care of. We have the Panther coming up in the middle here, might get some shots on this Churchill, but the nice hit from the M1 gun from Will is going to scare the Panther off, getting some rear armor hits, but Theodor Steiner bringing his own Panther over to support this Crocodile Sherman, trying to scare off these KCH again, but it is heavily damaged. There's a pack in position, these two Panthers, it is surely going to die. See if it can get some crits on these KCH. No, it does not. And there it goes. Allies, really, their armor play is not paying off. They're just throwing their armor onto the stake. Good hit with the AT gun, though. Killed the gunner on the Panther. But yes, they're just throwing their armor into the fire, and not really getting much payoff for it. Attack Taco now has a sniper on to try to sort of whittle down the Axis troops that have been attritioning the Allies fairly successfully. And that is, in a general game, not the end of the world. The Allies generally have more troops at their disposal than the Axis, so the Axis needs to trade more effectively. But I think so far, it's, even considering that, the game is going in the Axis's favor. Saying that, though, the Allies are making good ground on the left here, such that they have now gained a significant pop income advantage over the Axis. At this stage, it doesn't matter that much for the Axis. They're at 39 out of 40 pop, and they have now equalized the pop with some caps over here. I don't know where, but they have equalized the pop, so Axis will be hitting their max shortly. And when they hit 40 pop, if they get a territory advantage, the Allies will start losing pop. So we will see if they'll be able to take advantage of that. We've got the KCH probing here in the middle, but they want to back off from the T-17 and the Sniper. Sniper getting a hit on the KCH, finally taking this 3-man squad down to 2 men. If they are at full health, they can tank a sniper shot and live, but both of these squads are damaged, so they managed to pick off one of the men who was injured. I believe that is, yes, another shot on the KCH, and he survived. We have some advanced repair on from Chopmaker. I saw these on a while ago, have not seen them doing much, but additionally, we have a howitzer from Chopmaker. These shoot canister shells, I believe, or is that the Panzer Elite one? Either way, he has a artillery on, facing it for fire against, presumably, this area. We will see what he manages to accomplish. Bringing it down on the machine gun to open the way for this infantry that he's been using, and also kill off a lot of these AT guns. Some great hits from Trapmaker with the howitzer, already up to 5 kills, which is more. Oh, and the main gun on the T-17. Oh, but gotta be careful. He's running into his own artillery with his KCH, taking a lot of damage. Both of the KCH squads go down to friendly fire from the artillery. Oh, it was a great barrage at first until he sort of got careless and sent his KCH into the fire. So some good kills, but also some needless losses. However, with the AT guns out of the way, Trapmaker is now bringing up his Panther to try to destroy the weapons before they can be recruited. Stormtrout is recruiting this pack, and he does manage to decrew it again, but not without taking a hit from the 17-pounder. Still, I think that is worth the trade to try to keep this unmanned and get another shot at destroying it. In the middle here, without that pack, and with the 17 pounder still sitting in the back, this needs to move up. This needs to move up. There is no anti-tank to protect all of these troops here. Got another walking streak barrage coming down, trying to hit these troops here. Does miss. Unless it's trying to destroy the pack? Is that where the pack was? Perhaps. But either way, nothing protecting these troops in the middle. What's going on the left here? Allies continuing their sort of aggression in the middle. They have been pushed back here, but they have compensated by taking this middle sector and retaking this sector. I believe Axis had taken this. Perhaps. No, perhaps not. Either way, the population is still 1-to-1. Axis is at 40 pop. Allies are up to 39. They have managed to sort of hold on to that 1-to-1 so that they have not lost any pop once Axis has hit 40. So I've been saying that the Axis has been having the advantage, but I definitely don't want to discount the Allies. They're not out of the game yet, right? Some good hits from the AT gun on the Panther, such that Philip Schneider has actually dismounted his officer in an effort to keep it from dying, perhaps even planning to take the Panther off, although I don't think that is the case. He's sticking around to take some shots. Both of these Panthers are injured, though, and there is one repair bunker on the field. Yes, one repair bunker, as well as wherever those advanced repairs are. Yes, here they are, coming up to fix up this Panther. AVRE, oh goodness, I have not been keeping track of the kills on the AVRE, but it is still on the field. Vet 3, I believe it came on at Vet 3, but regardless, it has got 25 infantry kills to its name. The amount of time it has been on the field, that's decent, but just in general, that is, I think, certainly helping the the Allies compensate for the poor trades they've been making in a lot of these infantry engagements. We have 2 walking Stukas on from Olazaika, and I believe, yes, we have 2 on as well from Unlimited. That is a lot of population invested into artillery from these players collectively. So we will see how that works out in terms of holding back the Allied aggression that is slowly creeping forward. So bringing up this AT gun, probing up with this infantry, probing up with this AT gun that is cloaked. Will sort of using this pack as a forward scout to keep an eye on what's going on and perhaps get some shots on the Panther. The Panther is now back up to its top health. Walking Stuka coming down on this infantry here on the AT gun. Largely missed, but the howitzer from Trapmaker is back in action. It looks like the crew got destroyed because it has lost the kills that it had before, and it's back to fresh. Unfortunately, none of this manages to take out the sniper from Attack Depot, but it is now in danger. A number of Sturm Pioneers are getting aggressive, trying to charge it down, but the AVRE coming to save the day. Pretty solid hit. Only kills off 2 guys, but heavily damages the squad, which is going to give these Rangers a big advantage to kill them off. Although the Panther is coming up to support, manages to get around the 17 pounder. He can get a good hit on the crew or the gun here. He might be okay. Good hit on the gun. One more of those will go down, but with the wear and tear on the Panther, he is definitely going to want to get out of there. Rear armor bounce from the Rangers. Very fortunate there. Bazookas do, I believe, have a damage bonus against Panthers if they manage to penetrate to sort of compensate for their poor penetration. Another mortar from, is this Attack Taco? Yes, Attack Taco going down. Thankfully, the weapon is still there, so it can be recruited. We have a Firefly up from Snake. I was wondering when one of these would come on. Good hits from the Zooks on the Rangers. Getting aggressive on this Panther. Wants to pull back. Definitely want to get these repairs out of here. These advanced repair squads are only 2 men, and they're Pioneers, which are very squishy. And if Will... Yes, he is going to get some shots on the howitzer. Very good target to take out here. It only takes 2 bazooka squad shots to take it out. That is a great win for the Allies, neutralizing one of the... probably the single deadliest piece of artillery that the Axis had available to them. The Panther, now fully healed, it's down to 426 max health. So, you know, it's taking some wear and tear, but it can still pose a big threat to this Firefly. The Firefly does have the benefit of the Cromwell command tank, so it does get a minor range boost that lets it just edge out the Panther. He just needs to play carefully with this, screen it with some infantry or some other cheap units, and that will let him take shots at the Panther outside of its maximum range. Looks like he's just going to go for a dive, though. Steiner trying to pull his Panther off. He has dismounted the officer, but the Firefly has the turret turned around the wrong way, shooting at the KCH. Panther has turned its turret around. Is going to get away. Got one last parting shot off on the Firefly, and the Firefly is going to try to come back to its lines, but Trapmaker's Panther now going to chase down the Firefly, and the hack from Unlimited gets the kill. Another big dive from the Allies with a tank that does not pay off. You need to be, I think, a little bit more concerned. The Allies, they want to get aggressive to, you know, sort of stave off the fact that they've been on the back foot the whole game. But I feel like they could stand to be a little bit more conservative with their tanks, right? I know the Axis sort of has an advantage in heavy armor, but you can't just keep throwing away the tanks for nothing like that, right? Like the Firefly with the command tank is a very fearsome thing for the Axis to deal with, and I don't think it was worth it to try to chase down that Panther that was very clearly trying to get off the field, right? The officer had been dismounted. I guess they don't know for sure, but like it had been heavily injured, and if it comes back up to be repaired, then it's going to be even more so. Like the wear and tear is going to get it. One of these officers from Olazaika does go down over here. Pretty decent score for the Allies there. Aviary trying to go for the new sniper on from Olazaika, now up to 7 kills, but does completely whiff on that shot. Additionally, a Tiger tank on from Phil Wilbelsteiner to replace the Panther that he just pulled off. And he does have the Blitz officer now in that, effectively cycling that around, keeping it alive. So we will see the sniper from Attack Tackle up to 20 kills, respectable. So we will see how this sniper on sniper engagement goes. They want to be careful. They want to keep sort of picking off squads the best they can so that the sniper isn't just wasted pop. But they need to be careful how they do it, lest they reveal themselves to a counter snipe from the enemy sniper. And in this way, also revealing himself to a rush from these Volksgrenadiers. But with the Rangers here to back up the sniper, not have to worry about it. Walking Stuka, just one coming down, going for the sniper. But it looks like the sniper's going to get away with it. A lot of misses, one near hit, but we have the Tiger getting aggressive over here. Not a lot of support. It has the sniper and the officer, but it's taking a lot of hits from this anti-tank. We have a 57 and a 17 pounder over here. Did a lot of damage to this Tiger tank. He's going to have to bring that back and repair it, and that's going to do a lot of wear and tear. It starts with over 1,000 hit points, and once he brings it back to fix it up, it's going to, with the amount of repairs that he's going to have to do there, that's going to certainly damage his total hit points, especially if he's going to be using this regular non-upgraded Pioneer to fix it up. That's going to severely impact his hit points. We have a Panther term up from Unlimited. Don't see those very often. It is a bunker with a Panther turret on top. And in that respect, it's basically just exactly what it says on the tin. You could consider it sort of a poor man's 88, right? A little bit more durable, but at the same time more vulnerable to anti-tank guns. A decent unit, and certainly costs less pop than the 88. And can be built with Pioneers. We have a Hellcat on now from Will. Hellcats ordinarily have some trouble penetrating the front armor on these Panthers, but the Panther has the rear armor facing the enemy as he tries to escape without using reverse move. So some good hits from the Hellcat, taking only minor damage in return. Now saying that, the Hellcat only has 400 total hit points, so every hit that they take is, you know, a large sort of chunk of its total health. But relatively speaking, he definitely did a lot more damage to the Panther than he took. Now we've got a sort of infantry engagement going on here between these Panzerschrecks and these Rangers. The sniper is somewhere in this group. Ah, there it is. Going to be sneak up to try to whittle down these Panzerschrecks, most likely. But there is a machine gun inside the Panther term. This is now basically just sort of an anti-everything emplacement, as long as it's on the field. Is the howitzer still on? The howitzer is still on. But until he can deal with that, as it looks like he is attempting to do now... Yes. Oh, no! Oh, the advanced repair. Oh, nice overshoot. Takes out, completely wipes out one of the advanced repair squads and brings the other one down to one man. Now, the nature of these things, he's still going to repair at full speed, right? Like with the advanced repair upgrade, he does not lose any repair capacity, but with only one man left in a Pioneer squad, it's going to be gotta be very careful to keep that alive. A lot of damage on the Panther term as well. Almost takes it out. One more of those things, or a decent hit from a tank or an anti-tank gun, will finish it off, for sure. So it's a little bit of a sticky situation because both this Panther and this Panther term need repairs. And you can only do one at a time, especially now that one of the advanced repairs has been lost. Over here on the left, the Aviary up to 28 kills, so it looks like its kill income has been slowed down. It is facing the wrong way. Rear armor is facing the front. Looks like he's turning it around now. It's been topped off. It is, in fact, over-repaired from these advanced repairs from Snake. These Rangers running down the Panzerschreck Stormtroopers. These Panzerschreck Stormtroopers, I haven't been paying much attention to them, but they can be very annoying because they can cloak and use Panzerschrecks for ambushes. The Sniper, whittling them down. This man is going to retreat, try to preserve that squad, and not drop the bazooka in enemy territory. The Tiger tank is now, with these repairs from the repair bunker combined with the repairs from the regular Pioneer, is down to less than 800 maximum hit points. It's lost over 200 off of its max hit points. Now down to probably going to stop around 750 or so. That is a lot of reduction on its hit points from just those great hits on the 17 pounders and such, combined with the lack of advanced repairs over here. The repair bunker repairs quickly, but it does not have the most efficient wear and tear. That's sort of the trade-off. It's definitely better than the Pioneers, but as you can see, the sort of net result, those two things together, definitely a lot of reduction on the total hit points on the Tigers. So we'll see how that works out. It's 771 hit points is no small amount, but I don't know, we'll have to see. We have a Puma on from Trapmaker, trying to do some dodges and some scouting over here on the right, trying to flank out this anti-tank gun, perhaps kill it off to make room for the Panther, yes, as well as an Ostwind. So we see if he can pull it off. He does not, and is now backing up to get away from this Sherman that is aggressing to stop the AT gun from dying. Something is dying. I'm not sure what or where. Artillery coming down on the left. Presumably got this machine gun. And having done that, that frees the way for this infantry to advance. We have a... This is interesting. I like this. We have an officer on from Will. This is actually a reward unit from... various players get one reward unit per war for doing various things, winning tournaments, having a lot of XP on a unit, doing shoutcasts and such things. And so Will has gotten this officer for his infantry company, which is essentially a clone of the defensive officer, the Wehrmacht defensive officer. I believe it hasn't been updated with sort of the area of effect lockdown that the defensive officer has, but regardless, it does have the supervise one specific target, which can be very useful for sort of making anti-tank guns and tanks more accurate. And he can supervise friendly units, so for example, if he puts that on a Firefly, that will be doing a lot of damage. And additionally, it does of course have the officer barrage, so we will see if he can effectively use that. Some more units dying, more artillery coming down on the right. The Panther term is now gone. Panther up to full health now, 477 hit points. Now the Ostfin, which took some hits, is now being fixed up by the one-man advance repair. Needs to be careful though, a big overshoot could take out this advance repair, and that would be devastating for Trapmaker because he would not have any repairs of his own. We would have to rely on regular Pioneers and the repair bunker for all of these units that are being repaired. Some probing up with Rangers in the middle here from Will, trying to suss out these Panzerschrecks, but he has to be careful because the Tiger tank is here. But the Tiger tank is pulling back with its rear armor. M18 Hellcat cruising on to the left. Looks like the Allies are getting ready for another push with this AT gun here. Needs to be careful. So that yes, the Hellcat is set up in an ambush position. It is cloaked. Looks like it will get a shot on this Tiger shortly if he moves up just a little bit more. Oh no, he's just letting it get hit by the 17-pounder. Need to be careful with this Hellcat. If the Panzerschrecks move up just a little bit more, which it looks like they will not be doing. Oh, 17-pounder is destroyed. That's a big loss for the Allies. That is sort of one of their main methods they have been using to keep these Axis tanks at bay. And every anti-tank asset that they lose is one more mark in the Axis's favor for sort of overrunning the enemy with their tanks. That said, some really, honestly, sorry Phil Steiner, but some really sloppy play with this Tiger, getting it knocked down to 93 health from this combination of the Hellcat and the Sherman. The Tiger is a formidable unit, but it's not that strong. It doesn't have the armor of a Panther for existence. Stormtrout has snuck around some Devil's Brigade to destroy this repair bunker, has managed to get a demolition charge on, a timed demolition charge. That is one dead repair bunker. Might lose this guy in the squad if he doesn't move it. Oh, that's it to the Stug. Nice shot from the Stug. They usually don't have good accuracy against infantry. He did get the charge off. Yes, there it is. So there goes another repair bunker. We are now down to this one-man Pioneer squad with the advanced repair, as well as, I don't know, probably some regular Pioneers somewhere. So, looks like the Axis are in a little bit of trouble now. They've lost most of their repairs, and the Allies are continuing to advance. The Allies actually now have a majority of the pop on the map now that they've taken this sector here. The Axis is slowly losing pop. They're down to 39, which at this stage is not the end of the world, but if the Allies start taking more territory, this could go bad very quickly. Additionally, this Hellcat now paying off, taking the Ostwind. Allied armor play, I think, has significantly improved over this sort of second half of the game, right? They're sort of using it in combination, like combining them together. Another artillery. There goes the last advanced repair. And now the Axis is definitely in trouble. They have no way to effectively repair all of these armored units that they have on the field. Nice hit from the howitzer from Will. Excellent barrage. That one unit was absolutely key. Got a Ranger blob over here from Attack Taco and Will, but they are having to fall back because this Panther from Trapmaker. This Panther has been doing a pretty good job. 28 kills, a vehicle, 2 tanks, 6 buildings, probably emplacements like weapon teams. Pretty respectable, especially it's been on the field for the majority of the game. But it is going to he's going to want to be much more careful with it now that he has no repairs for it and is down to 340 health. We have some advanced repairs on from Stormtrout, assisting Attack Taco, fixing up his Sherman. And sort of the armored attrition, if the Allies continue to do well with their armor, they will definitely have a big leg up in this game. Rangers getting aggressive, trying to take out the artillery. Gets some hits, doesn't finish it off. I think they would have been better off trying to finish off the Tiger. Right, now they're taking a lot of hits as they try to fall back. Artillery coming down on the medic bunker, trying to knock that out to further damage the Allies, or the Axis's ability to sort of recycle their units. Looks like the Walking Stukas are going to go down for barrage, trying to get these Rangers, perhaps? Yes, here it comes. Might get the Hellcat, at least a lot of damage. Oh, goodness gracious, that's a lot of damage on the Hellcat. It is at 0 out of 288 health, which means it is less than 1 hit point. And there it goes. More hits on the Rangers as they try to get some hits on the Panther. Does get some. Panther's down to 152 health. Very much the danger zone for that Panther. But the Axis cannot afford to pull off units at this point. They are definitely on the back foot. So Trapmaker is trying to squeeze every bit of damage out of this Panther as he can. Starting to pick up steadily more Ranger kills as he does. This Sherman in the back is now at full health and is now being over-repaired by these repair engineers. So once that is ready to go, or once they decide that it's ready to go rather, that will be definitely something that the Axis will have to be careful of. The Panther term, a new Panther term was put up a while ago. It is now taking hits from the 17-pounder, which I think outranges it. Additionally, it does not outrange this 57mm, and one more hit might bring that down. But it looks like the 57 is going to get away. Sniper over here is in danger. The double MP40s are having a go, but the moving accuracy on these MP40s is not great, and there's a double vet Ranger sitting here to sort of block the way. It is 1 versus 2, not a great sort of matchup, but it was just enough to sort of deter them to let the sniper back up, and now has the support of the Sherman. Is there any anti-tank over here besides the Panther term? We do have Trapmaker's Panther, but to be honest, I've been criticizing the dives that Allies have been doing with their armor. But if they manage to take out this Panther term with another AT gun, that is an effective matchup against that extremely wounded Panther. Saying that, though, there is a Geschützwagen on from Unlimited to support this Panther, sort of protect it from... What is he trying to destroy here? Trying to destroy the pack. I'm presuming the Axis are sort of out of units to crew it. I guess Trapmaker doesn't want to crew it with these Grenadiers. He wants to use those to fight. So might as well destroy it before it can be captured, I guess, if they start to get overrun here. T-17 armored car on. I guess this is a new one. I didn't see what happened to the old one, but surely it has died by this point. How's the AVRE doing? 36 kills on the AVRE. Panther still alive, but not very much kicking. Only 9 kills and a vehicle on the Tiger. And with no way to repair it, its effectiveness is certainly going to be limited. The two Stugs over here, sort of working together, cover each other since they don't have a turret. He is aggressing to try to destroy some of these emplacements that the Brits have. I assume? No, he is going past it. What are they trying to do? What is Elizeka trying to do with these Stugs? Nope, is going to stop to deal with this machine gun bunker. Stormshot's going to want to get out of there, because if this bunker goes down with a machine gun inside it, it will die. Nope, Elizeka deciding to move on. Perhaps get the command tank? The triple vet command tank? Perhaps he's just probing up to see what he can see. If the Allies are not careful and do not do something to stop this, he will be able to get some shots on this howitzer. However, nothing. There's no anti-tank. Oh, yes, there's the Piats here. And given the poor accuracy against infantry that Stugs have, that is something that he definitely does not want to get overconfident about. Especially with the Rangers now coming back with the officer. He's definitely going to want to get out of there. Those bazookas, if they manage to penetrate, will do a lot of damage. Now, these Stugs do have the armor skirts, which does a lot of protection against a hand-on anti-tank, but against rear armor, you could see that big hit from the Piats, and now we have the 17-pounder up. That Stug is toast. This one likely to get away. T-17 now diving in, trying to take out this anti-tank gun, which, and once he's done that, if he manages to, which it looks like he will, yes he does, he will have free reign to, oh, I take it back, he will not. This is a Stug here. But he could get some, oh, what is Elizeka doing? No, don't escape that way, bring them back to the Stug. Because this T-17 is much faster than the Stug. He can just chase these guys down this way, Shopmaker saving the day with his Panther. Ozaka gonna get away with his Walking Stuka. Yes, I might have spoken too soon with the allies in this game. They are definitely, slowly but surely, now whittling down the Axis, having taken out their repairs, and the Axis was relying heavily on their vehicles. So now that the Axis has no way to fix them up, all the allies have to do is just chip away at their health, bit by bit, and once they have done so, there will be little to stop the allies advance with the armor that they do have remaining, because they do have this Sherman, full health, over-repaired still, in fact. They do have the Aviary, which is still at 36 kills, but if he is able to get a hit here, he is aiming. Nope, canceling. Presumably the shot that he had targeted was no longer at the right spot. Going for the machine gun instead, does take it out, knocks out the entire house, which will open the way for infantry, and presumably some of these rangers, and whatever else. Ah, yes, Will has more infantry coming on. A sniper from him now. I don't know where Attack Taco's sniper is. Have not seen it in a while. Perhaps it was forced off and or died. So Storm Trout trying to aggress on the right here, but limited pushing back with his Bucks Grenadiers. A lot of these MP40 bolts in his company. Managing to flank out this machine gun. No, he does not. And the Universal Carrier, the Bryn Carrier, in fact, pushing them around so they cannot get around the back. Does manage to decrew the machine gun, so well done there, but he doesn't really have anything to follow up with that victory there, right? Ah, yes, here is the sniper from Attack Taco. 11 kills now. Very slow kills. This might be a different one. It has Vet 2. There's no way with 11 kills it got up to Vet 2, so I think this might be a second sniper on from Attack Taco. I'm not sure, though. I didn't see what happened to the one that he had before. Might be the same one, who knows. Allies continuing to just sort of block the Axis from advancing here with all this armor that they have. The Axis does have this anti-tank gun, which is definitely going to stop... No, it's really not. But with this Aviary here, which is now being topped off and over-repaired, that will easily handle an anti-tank gun. And there's not really anything else over here to stop that. Although, yeah, there's the Stug. There's the Stug. The Stug has kind of bad penetration, but it's still something to be wary of. Sniper now working on this machine gun to open the way for all this infantry. Once that goes down, there will be very little to... Well, I take that back. There's a machine gun here, but the sniper could easily deal with that as well. There goes one machine gun. Sniper, move up, kill this one. There'll be very little to stop this infantry advance that is coming up this way. Another MP40 squad with an officer could get some good hits with the officer barrage if he's crafty with it. But needs to get that in position to join the fight. Meanwhile, a run behind enemy lines with the Rifleman is going to kill this medic. Yes, there it goes. Double vet medic. That's a shame. It's hard to level up medics because they don't really kill much with the MP40. Speaking of MP40s, these MP40s chewing through this rifle squad, but very unlikely to be able to kill off this sniper with the Sherman here to block the way. Panzerfaust off on the Sherman. Could kill this Sherman if he gets another shot with it. Nope, was not meant to be. The lieutenant managed to pick up a Panzerschreck at some point and get aggressive and get a great hit on that Geschützwagen, finishing it off. And now the Walking Stuka, one Walking Stuka goes down from I'm not sure what, but they do manage to decrew some of these things. Officer barrage coming down now, almost decrews this machine gun, not quite. Another lieutenant on from Storm Trout. He had double lieutenant, and this right side, if the allies recognize it, has completely folded. There is nothing over here to defend against an advance except for this retreating defensive officer who is not going to be able to stand up against a sniper. And that is the right side completely emptied out. We've got some more reinforcements, more MP40 Volks coming on, but in the meantime, the side is clear for the allies to do whatever they want. Meanwhile, over on the left, allies sort of licking their wounds back here, topping off their vehicles. Aviary up to 48 kills now. Must have gotten a really good hit on something. But in the meantime, just sort of some infantry squads probing up, keeping the Axis on their back feet while they prepare whatever their next move is back here. I really think Snake ought to move up, right? Like his tanks are over-repaired. This is over-repaired, right? This AT gun, they've got units up here to protect this stuff, and if not, they've got the AVRE to protect it, right? It's just the Stoop. More repairs on from a Lazaika. I would have liked to see these sooner. Where were these when the Axis was... Alright, yeah, and he's topped off this Panther now, finally, but, you know, where were those when the Tiger was just walking around limp, right? Wounded in the leg, so to speak, with the damaged engine. I really think it's sort of a mistake to not bring these on sooner. Panther now, from Trap Maker, up to 40 kills now. Pretty good, pretty solid. 4 tank kills. And is now forcing a retreat on the right here. This Sherman here is down to 200 health currently, with standard repairs from these engineers, not advanced repairs. So that is taking a lot of damage. Going to scare off these Volksgrenadiers. If they have a Panzerfaust, they could do some good damage to it, but not going to take the risk. Rather, just bring the Stug over. Oh, good hit on this Panther could do a lot of damage, but looks like it will not. How's the Howitzer doing? 20 kills? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Stuart on from Stormtrout. Looks like this Sherman is in trouble. The Panther could just smash through this hedgerow here and get shot off. So, really, I don't know which way this could go, right? Axis still losing pop. Axis down to 38, not too bad. I think they are sort of stabilizing here. But now that they have some repairs on for the Axis, although saying that, right, the Axis forces are sort of concentrated over here. A lot of wounded not necessarily, a lot of fresh forces over here, and a lot of breakthrough with this Panzer. These 2 lieutenants don't really have anything to back them up. But on the left, there's just a lot of units on from Snake. Just a lot of units on, and a pretty sizable force from Will as well, with fresh units. Some units running around the back here in this half-track and this Jeep. I imagine this is some sort of sabotage deployment to try to destroy units in the back, perhaps with demo charges, and or some kind of deployment meant to kill snipers, although I don't think the Axis has a sniper on anymore. Didn't see what happened to it. Regardless, managed to chase off this officer, so well done on that. And now the Allies are starting to respond to this big push that the Axis have made over here. Axis are pushing up. AVRE is now up to rank, what is this, 4? Yes. Been doing great. Philip von Steimer, turquoise player, is now off the field, so that is definitely going to put the Allies at an advantage. Although saying that, I think Attack Taco is definitely sort of run out of units here as well. He's just got the tank that is very much almost dead, and the repair bunker has lost the Howitzer, which makes sense because the Axis made a big push over here. Nice hit from the mortar from Stormtrout, presumably this, right? 17 kills in the mortar. Pretty solid, pretty solid. AVRE in trouble. This Panther could do a lot of damage to this AVRE. 500 health. This dive here, what do they have to back it up? I see no AT guns. There's some Piats. This Piat, but, okay. Trapmaker going to back off. Doesn't want to risk losing that. It's been sort of his bread and butter, his anchor this whole game. And with all the damage that it's taken with the wear and tear, doesn't want to risk this Bren button. This could be it for the Panther with these Piats and the Bren button. Nope, looks like he's going to get away. Yes. That was a close shave, although Stuart coming around the back, if the Stuart can aim properly and shoot the rear armor on the Panther, could be in danger, but it looks like the targeting is not going to work. It's a canister shot off of the Volksgrenadiers instead, a canister shot. These repairs in trouble. Nice hit from the Piat, kills one of these guys. Volksgrenadiers finish it off though. But either way, this machine gun does not appear to be in range, never mind. Nice hit from the 17-pounder. A very cheeky anti-tank gun up here trying to kill off something. Doesn't seem to have worked out. This Sherman definitely on its last legs, but Allies and Axis both trying to squeeze every little bit they can out of the units they have left. Especially Attack Taco, who, you know, it definitely appears to be sort of all on field with this tank and the engineer and the health station. I see what Snake is sort of doing here. He's just sort of making this sort of SimCity impregnable wall, all these emplacements, but I would like to see him advance and assist Stormtrout and Attack Taco with their engagements they're doing over here, right? Their fight is going fine, right? There's no more anti-tank over here, but, you know, they don't know necessarily. I mean, maybe they do, but they can't really know for sure that there's no anti-tank over here to kill off that Sherman, and if that happens, then, you know, this attack could go poorly. So it would be great if he could just bring up this AVRE, this command tank. I mean, he's been very conservative with these, and that's how it stayed alive, you know, to get 50 kills, right? But I feel like at this stage of the game, aggression is what's going to win you the match, right? You need to finish off what the enemy has. AVRE moving up now. I think the Allies are going to get this one. Despite being on the back foot in the early game, they just definitely have much more field presence than the Axis does. Sniper on from Will, that's gotta be a different one. With only 2 kills, a lot of snipers this game. Shuka coming down, trying to kill off this infantry. But with these forces from Will finally coming up, I think this is likely game over for the Axis. Artillery falling back. Button on the Stug, more Piats coming down, nice hit, Stewart getting a rear hit as well. Where are those repairs? I don't see the repairs. The repairs from whom? I don't remember. Ah, here they are. 51 kills, 11 emplacements, 5 tanks. Trapmaker has been doing work with this Panther all game. It's a shame it looks like it hasn't sort of been able to carry the day. This Cromwell really ought to be up here assisting the AVRE. Like, the benefits that it gives it, I don't know. But, like, there's no reason to just sit it in the back like this, right? You can at least, you know, push units with it. It's a Cromwell chassis. The Cromwell's pretty decent at crushing, right? At the very least, you could use it for that. Although, saying that, what kind of anti-tank do the Allies have to deal with this Panther at this stage? I'm not sure. Looks like they're pulling back. A nice hit from the AVRE could do a lot of damage to this Panther, though. It's down to only 300 health. Looks like a back cap is being recovered over here by the Axis, who are down to 35 POW, but I think at this stage of the game it doesn't really matter. They definitely seem to be sort of out of units. You know, what they got is what they got. And the sniper is whittling away what little the Allies have, or the Axis has left. A cheeky last-minute howitzer on from Olazaika trying to kill off maybe the 17-pounder to sort of clear the way for the AVRE, but doesn't matter. AVRE, excuse me, clear the way for the Panther, but it doesn't matter. The AVRE is there to have something to say about that. Very aggressive howitzer. I feel like he could have set it up back here, it'd be fine. Like, I'm not familiar with the range on that thing, but it certainly has to be longer than setting it up right on the front line, right? Panther's pulling back. Again, not a whole lot to... Oh, I take it back. Nice hit from the Piat. That Panther was severely injured, down to very little health, and the Piats managed to finish it off. And that is the game. Axis is pulling off just this Volksgrenadier squad from Unlimited, which he might or might not have forgotten about, but regardless, at this stage, the Allies will win by territory. And so whether or not this squad is on will be inconsequential. So, well played to the Allies. It was hard fought, to be sure. They certainly were looking pretty rough at the start. Very poor play from their armor at first, to be sure, and definitely not effective trades with the infantry either, but they managed to come back, make some more coordinated play, sort of keep their forces together, and managed to whittle down the Axis units. It was great. A very key sort of element of the Allied victory here was that they managed to take out the Axis repairs. Great artillery barrage to take out the advanced repair pioneers, and the Devil's Brigade sneaking around the back to kill the repair bunker was critical. And then the late redeployment of those the late redeployment of the other advanced repairs was very unfortunate, and I think definitely a mistake. So that is the game. Very long. I didn't keep track of the time, but this was certainly, as promised, quite the lengthy game. So, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.